Moving on to NHK Trophy in Japan this weekend. Let's look at the men first. A big story here that I want to start out with is Kevin Reynolds from Canada. He had a free skate this year by a very well-known Japanese composer. It was from a video game, I believe. He was told prior to this event that he could not use the music in competition anymore, probably triggered by the fact that he's going to be skating in Japan this weekend. So he had to come up with a program in a very short amount of time. You know, the rules changed this year, so it's not like he can go back to an old program. There's a different amount of time in the program this year. What do you think about this becoming an issue finally after all these years of skating? And how do you think that he'll be able to perform?
Kevin Reynolds is one of the most intelligent young men that I've ever met. So if there was ever a person who could work the problem, he's one of those people. So I don't have any doubt that he will be able to come up with something to skate to. The way that I understood from his Facebook post, but also from talking to other people, he could have used the music. It was just going to cost him lots of money every time that it came out. So I'm a little bit unsure as to, because I thought that there was like blanket agreements that were made, you know, the ISU made with whoever the governing body is for music. I know that in Canada it's SOCAN. So I just assumed that music was covered, but apparently it's not. Right. So Kevin Reynolds, as I said, he's somebody who can work the program. He's somebody who has really gotten in touch with his musical side over the last few years since his first collaboration with Shailene Bourne. So I'm not worried about that aspect. I think that he still has some difficulty with some of the technical elements. I think that he's still getting called a lot with under rotation on his jumps. I think ever since his hip surgery, he doesn't seem to be able to get into the air with enough height as he once did. So I'm really hopeful for him that this turns out to be just a turning of the corner, and that this is sort of a great weekend for him.
The favorite in this competition is Shoma Uno. Had a rough outing in the short program at Skate Canada, and we said we're amazed that he actually got up and was not injured by that fall on the triple axel. Moving forward to this competition, he's at home. He's in front of the best fans probably in the world. They know everything about every single skater. How do you think he'll deliver here?
I think he's going to be comfortable. I think he's going to be strong. I think it's his to lose. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does. You know, I love his ability to get into the air. I love his soft knee bend on his landings. And I think that he's just, he has a kind of charm that really gets to me. So I hope that he has a great skate.
Behind him, the field is a little bit wide open. You have three skaters that actually at Skate America were neck and neck in terms of that bronze medal. You have Sergei Voronov from Russia, who has, we know, he's 31 years old now. He's been in the sport forever. Very consistent, and that's the last few seasons that's gotten him on the Grand Prix podiums. Then you have Matteo Rizzo, who very narrowly missed the bronze medal at Skate America. Really clean, straightforward skating. And you have Vincent Zhou of the United States, who, as we go back to our review from Finland, he's one that's always kind of under the microscope as far as rotating his jumps. Those three, combined with Dmitry Aliev, who actually beat Voronov out for an Olympic spot and a World Championship spot for Russia last year. How do you see this playing out?
So my favorite performer is Vincent Zhou by a country mile. I love both of his programs. I think you're right. He is one of those skaters who seems to inspire scrutiny. So, you know, as far as sheer watchability for the casual skating fan, I love what he's doing. I think Dmitry Aliev is very, very interesting, although he can be a bit, you know, off and on. But I would like nothing better. And Matteo Rizzo is young. So he's fine. I want more from him, actually. He's got great personality. I think that there's a lot that you could do with him in terms of having him stretch artistically. So for me, Vincent Zhou is really the one I'm watching.
Moving on to the ladies, you have a trio of strong Japanese ladies, and then you also have a trio of Russian ladies and a South Korean lady. This is a really packed field. And then you also have a few American ladies that can show up and really deliver. So basically the entire field is capable of anything. Let's start with the Japanese ladies, though. Rika Kihira is a skater that maybe people don't know because this is her first season on the senior level, but she has a triple axel and she's been able to complete many of them cleanly, including triple axel, triple toe combinations. How do you think she stacks up against Satoko Miyahara, who already won at Skate America, and the other Japanese lady, Mai Mihara, who a few years ago was really the one that everyone was watching to be the next leader of Japanese skating?
So I want to say about Rika, I think she's the real dark horse because not only can she do a triple axel, but she's the first woman in competition to do the triple axel, triple toe combination. So anybody who is that talented, that young, I think we need to watch out for. In my preview for CBC, I said that this was a battle royale, or really a royal battle, between the tiny queen, Satoko Miyahara, and the empress, Elizaveta Tuktamysheva. I really think it's those two women who are going to go 1 and 2. If Satoko, I think that Elizaveta could take the short program. Again, if she lands another beautiful triple axel like she did and just has the kind of speed that she did. But I think Satoko Miyahara will probably take the event because combining the two programs, I think she was so strong when we saw her last. She just knocked it out of the park. So if she has that kind of skate again, which I assume she will being at home, that I think that it's hers to lose. But I think it's the royal battle between the two, the Empress and the Tiny Queen.
And both of those skaters have a win already in the Grand Prix so far this season. So they're, finished top 4 or higher, and they're pretty much guaranteed tickets to the Grand Prix final. I'm actually going to go out on a limb, and I think Kihira might actually win this competition. I would not.
She's the dark horse.
I would not be surprised if she comes away with a win here and really starts to make a name for herself on the senior level. You also have to look at Maria Satskova. She's another one that we haven't really seen so far this season. She was not that impressive at Japan Open, but that was early season. We can't really gauge anything by that competition. You also have Yoon-soo Lim from South Korea. She's someone that in juniors really started to make a name for herself. She's very well known, especially in her home country. She's looked at maybe as the next Yoona Kim. And from the United States, you have Mariah Bell, who had a really good showing at Skate Canada. Okay, let's move on to pairs. This could be an interesting competition for all 3 of the medals. I think that there's 3 teams above the rest, but the order that they're going to finish in, who knows? Start out with Moore Towers and Marinero from Canada. They won a bronze medal at Skate Canada. They're competing once again against the silver medalist from Skate Canada, Peng and Jin of China. And then you also have the winners from last week, Zabiako and Enbert of Russia. This competition, who do you see as being the favorites?
I think Zabiako and Enbert are the favorites.
Yeah.
I think that they are sort of like they fill the rink. And I think that's one of the things that we really like to see in pair skating. I think that Marinero and Moore Towers are going to take silver, and I think that Peng and Jin are going to take bronze. And that's just based on nothing more than it really could go any which way. Yeah. So you're absolutely right, all 3 teams. But that's just kind of how I see it. I see Moore Towers and Marinero becoming more confident with every outing. They talked to me backstage at Autumn Classic about how they were really feeling the pressure of being like and then there was one, pair team. Everybody else sort of has gone the way the other 3 teams who were always sort of wrestling for spots at nationals to go to worlds, to go to Olympics. They're all gone. So it's really Moore Towers and Marinero who are leading the dog sled for Canadian pair teams, So, but they are becoming more and more confident with that mantle, and they're becoming, and it's showing in their skating, I think.
I'm actually going to predict that Moore Towers and Marinero win. I have a feeling. I really appreciate their skating this year. I think that they have 2 programs that really stand out. I really like the Chinese short program. I like the Russian short program. But I think in the end, I have a feeling that the Canadians might come away with the win. We also, in this field, have the Knierums. They had the drama at Skate America of not having a coach, not talking about it at first, and then finding out that Savchenko actually decided to part ways with them. We don't know, as far as I know, at this point, know who their new coach is, if they have a new coach, and we don't know what kind of shape they're in. So they could be a wild card as well. They didn't look 100% at Skate America, but obviously we know the circumstances behind that. And this is another team where this year is really just a rebuilding year.
Yep, for sure. And you know what? They're enormously talented. So I'd like nothing better than for them to have the kind of performances that they're really looking for. So, but I didn't see that at Skate America. So perhaps it'll be closer to nationals. That's kind of what I predicted. And especially if they're having, some situations with coaching changes and trying to figure out where they're going to be in the world. All those things are things, forces to be reckoned with when trying to figure out your strategy for competing.
Finally, ice dance. This is a really big opportunity for all of these teams because Papadakis and Cizeron withdrew. He suffered a back injury in practice, and he's out for at least this competition. They're still scheduled to skate 2 weeks in France. They won't make the Grand Prix final, so now this opens up a spot for these other teams. Looking at the field, I think it could be close, but I think the favorites are probably Zagorski and Guerrero from Russia.
I think so too.
They came into Skate America not 100%. They admitted that they really weren't completely trained, but they wanted to get on the Grand Prix. Came away with a bronze medal there. Obviously, favorites here. If they can pull off the gold, they'll be in the Grand Prix final. That's a great accomplishment. And then right behind them, you have two American teams in Hawaii and Baker, who actually were at the World Championships last year, and the Parsons. Parsons have skated very well so far this season. I think they're a team that the judges really like. Hawaii Baker, we have not seen yet, so they're a wild card. How do you think this event's going to play out?
I think that Zagorski and Guerrero are really the ones to beat. And I think that if they were to take the title here, it would be their very first Grand Prix title. The fact that they won a medal was also their first Grand Prix medal. So this is just going to help bolster their self-confidence. Of the American teams, Hawaii and Baker, I've been a big fan of theirs for a long time. Since they were junior world champions, I think that they paint a beautiful picture on the ice. So I think that this could be a moment for them to, pick up a Grand Prix medal, which would be great for them. For the Parsons, I also like this team very much, but I think that they're not quite where they need to be yet in order for the whole world to stand up and take notice. But certainly talented and certainly performers, and just need a little bit more time.
Thanks again, PJ Kwong, for joining me. We are halfway through the Grand Prix series. You, I'm pretty sure, have had better predictions than me so far, so congratulations on that. But I'm looking forward
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm looking forward to this weekend, and I'm looking forward to discussing everything with you in the next few weeks. Thanks again.
Me too. Thank you.